All right, let's talk about something we see every single day, but maybe don't really think about all that much. We're talking about the largest, most visible, and frankly, one of the most underrated organs in your entire body. It's our personal armor, our climate control system, and a massive sensory canvas. Today, we are taking a journey into the skin. To really get a sense of its scale, just check out this number, 16%. What's that? Well, that's the percentage of your total body weight that's made up of just your skin. It's this massive sheet-like organ that is literally holding you together. Pretty incredible, right? So let's start with its most obvious job. First and foremost, the skin is our ultimate shield. It's our first line of defense against a world that is, let's face it, full of hazards. But this shield is so much more than just a simple wall. It's an incredibly talented, multifunctional barrier. It's actively blocking invading microbes, it's resisting nasty chemicals, and it's protecting you from all sorts of physical damage. And maybe most importantly, its waterproof nature keeps you from losing vital fluids, while its pigment gives you a built-in sunscreen against the sun's UV radiation. So how in the world does it manage to do all of this? To really understand that, we need to go deeper. So come on, let's take a little journey through the layers of the skin, from the part you see and touch, all the way down to its foundations. So broadly speaking, the skin is made of two main layers. On top, you've got the epidermis. Think of this as the thin, tough, waterproof shield. And get this, it doesn't have any blood vessels of its own. Then underneath all that, you've got the dermis. This is the skin's engine room. It's a much thicker, tougher, and more flexible foundation. This is where all the action is. The blood vessels, the nerves, the glands, the whole shebang. And check this out. This whole process is happening on your body right now. It never stops. New cells are born way down in the deepest layer of the epidermis. As more and more are created, they start pushing the older cells upward. On this journey, the cells actually die and get filled with a super tough protein. By the time they reach the surface, they form this hard, protective layer, and then they just flake off. You shed millions of these every single day. Now, that tough protein I just mentioned, that's keratin. And this stuff is the secret sauce that makes our outer skin so incredibly resilient. Just think of keratin as nature's waterproofing. It's what makes the epidermis both tough enough to resist scrapes and able to prevent fluid loss, which is absolutely essential for life on land. Okay, so what about skin color? Where does that come from? Well, that is all thanks to a pigment called melanin. It's produced by these special cells called melanocytes, also in the epidermis. But, its main job isn't really about appearance. It's to absorb harmful UV radiation from the sun, protecting all the delicate tissues deeper inside you from damage. All right, let's dive back down to that dermis layer. It is a busy, bustling neighborhood down there. It's woven together with tough collagen fibers for strength and stretchy elastic fibers for flexibility. It's also home to the roots of our hair, the glands that produce our sweat and oil, and a massive web of blood vessels and nerves that let us feel the world around us. You see, the skin is way more than just a couple of layers. It comes with its own built-in toolkit of what we call accessory organs. And these are the specialized structures that allow it to perform even more complex and amazing functions. So what's in this toolkit? Well, you've got your hair and your nails, an incredible array of different sensory receptors for touch, temperature, and pressure, and two really critical types of glands, your sweat glands and your sebaceous or oil glands. You know that feeling when you get goosebumps. Or that old phrase, "I was so frightened my hair stood on end." Well, that's not just a saying. It's the direct result of a teeny, tiny muscle called the erector pili. It attaches to the base of a hair follicle, and when you get cold or scared, it contracts, pulling the hair bolt upright and creating that classic goosebump on your skin. The skin's glands are also pretty fascinating. The sebaceous glands, for instance, produce an oil called sebum. You can just think of it as nature's skin cream. It lubricates your skin and hair, keeping everything from drying out. Sweat glands, on the other hand, produce perspiration, or sweat, and that does two really important things. It helps eliminate certain waste products, and, most importantly, it regulates your body temperature by cooling you down as it evaporates. But for all of its amazing strength, our shield isn't invincible. And when it breaks, well, the consequences can be really serious. So let's shift gears and talk about two of the skin's greatest vulnerabilities, cancer and burns. So there are three common types of skin cancer. Basal cell carcinoma is the one you see most often, and thankfully, it's the least likely to spread. Then there's squamous cell carcinoma, which is also slow-going, but it can spread if you don't get it treated. But the most serious form, the one you really have to watch out for, is melanoma. It can develop from existing moles and can become very dangerous. Now, this right here is a powerful tool that you can use yourself. The ABCD rule is a simple but vital guide for checking your moles. Just remember the letters: A for asymmetry, B for an irregular border, C for uneven color, D for a diameter larger than a pencil eraser, and E for any mole that is evolving or changing over time. Catching this stuff early is absolutely critical. The other major threat to the skin is, of course, a burn. To quickly figure out how much of the body has been damaged, medical pros use what's called the rule of nines. They visually divide the body into 11 sections, like your arms, your legs, and your chest. Each of those sections represents about 9% of your total body surface. So, for example, a burn that covers an entire arm would be about 9% of the body. It gives them a fast and critical estimate of how severe the burn is. And when we talk about burns, their severity is all about depth, how far the damage actually goes. A first-degree burn, like a typical sunburn, just affects that top layer, the epidermis. A second-degree burn goes deeper and is what causes blisters. A third-degree burn is a full-thickness burn, meaning it has completely destroyed both the epidermis and the dermis. And a fourth-degree burn, well, that's the most severe, extending all the way down to muscle or even bone. You know, when you really stop and think about it, from its layers and pigments to every scar and wrinkle, your skin is a living record of your personal history. It tells the story of where you've been, what you've done, the sun you've enjoyed. It's the most intimate story you have. So, what story is yours telling?